All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Second City Sports. We're going to be doing an NHL predictions video today. I got some friends with me. We have Nolan from CHR.
What's going on?
We also have CG. You can find him on Twitter and stuff.
Hello, hello, hello. Got me out of baseball mode for a second.
There
Yeah,
we
there we
go.
go. Get to take a break from watching the White Sox. You're welcome. Uh,
They've been fun.
they've been doing better than the Cubs lately. But anyway, so we're just going to predict like the NHL seasons awards and stuff like that. So we're going to be doing the Rocket Richard, the Hart Trophy, Norris Trophy, the Vezina Calder, and the Jack Adams. So if you guys are ready, we can just get in right into it with the Rocket Richard, starting with CG.
Look at Richard. I mean, scoring goals. You can't count out Kucherov. He's always going to score goals. Like that's something that I think until he proves otherwise, I'm never gonna go against Kucherov with that. Rocket Richard, Nikita Kucherov, the trophy case just keeps getting bigger and bigger for him.
It's an interesting pick. He's been kind of more of a playmaker lately, but definitely can't count him out of it. Great player.
Yeah, I mean, 37 goals last year, not a ton, but the more you see him, I mean, playing with guys like Hagel and Braden Point that are also playmakers, I feel like he can kind of just change his game, become a scorer more than some of those guys can. They have a lot of playmakers over there in Tampa, and I think how they ended this past season, they're gonna kind of come out firing, and a good start can go a very long way for an award like that.
Yeah, definitely. Nolan, who did you have for the Rocket Richard?
The Rocket Richard. I know a lot of Hawks fans aren't going to like this, but I have another Russian, Kirill Kaprizov, winning it. I think last year Kaprizov was on a 50 goal pace before he got hurt. And I just think that Kaprizov, especially next to Boldy on his other wing, we don't know who the center is. It'll probably be Eriksson Ek when it comes down to it. But I just think there's so much talent in the world for Kaprizov, and especially in a contract year, you can't count him out.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely going to want to put up a good season so that Kyle Davidson has to pay him a bunch next off season. Fingers
That's
crossed
the
and all
plan.
that.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the goal.
Definitely. I'm going to be boring. I'm going to go with Draisaitl. He gets to play with McDavid. Um, Edmonton, great team, stuff like that. I just think he'll be up there. You could go somebody like Matthews as well, but I'm kind of concerned how he's going to do now that Marner's not going to be playing with him and stuff. So it should be a pretty interesting year in the scoring race. I don't think there's like a slam dunk guy that's gonna, you know, score like tons and tons just off the rip. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Then moving on, we have the Hart Trophy, so league MVP. CG, who did you pick for this one?
He finished fifth place in voting last year, only 150 votes, but Jack Eichel, I think, is primed and ready for the best year of his life. I think having Marner with him will only add to that. Um, yeah, I expect a lot from Vegas this year. I think they're going to be awesome. I mean, it's going to be his age 29 season too, so he he's been around the block. He's gotten the votes like this before. He's a great player. I think Eichel is set for a career here.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. He's such an interesting player, like the way his career has gone, obviously starting in Buffalo and that god awful environment that he had to deal with over there. They would have wanted him to get the surgery and stuff. Playing in Vegas. Being the second pick to McDavid, like most years, Jack Eichel would be a slam dunk first pick. He's been unlucky at parts of his career, but he also has more cups than McDavid, which is, I'm sure, a little bonus for him.
Yeah, I really like how he's kind of like McKinnon in a way, where they have like McKinnon in a way, where they have that two-way game. I mean, Eichel did not have that for a lot of his years in Buffalo. It took Vegas saying, "Hey, you need to play defense," for him to really focus on that part of its game. But he's gotten insane on that aspect. So that's just another reason where you can see him dominate for a most valuable player trophy.
Yeah, definitely. Nolan, who did you go with?
So with mine, CG had just mentioned him, in the comparison. I think I like Eichel a lot in this, especially another contract year. Him, I mentioned Kaprizov for the Richard. I could definitely see him for the Hart as well. He could do the double in that. But I have Nathan McKinnon winning the Hart this season. I just think, he put up almost a point and a half per game last year. It was 116 and 79. And I just think he's not stopping anytime soon, especially if you get a healthy Landeskog back. Watch out for Nathan McKinnon.
Definitely Colorado, as long as all their guys stay healthy, they're always super dangerous, and that definitely helps with MVP races and stuff. Could definitely see
Yeah, I
it.
think another thing is a full year of Martin Necas. And Martin Necas, we're talking about the theme now. Another guy in a contract year, so you never really know what's going to happen in Colorado. I think, at full power they are a dangerous team, and he's going to be hungry, especially from that Game 7 collapse against Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely some guys to check out there. And then for me, I'm gonna have a bit of a fun one. I'm gonna go with Jack Hughes. I think coming, yeah, I think coming off this injury, they were having such a good year last year, and then he got hurt and they kind of slowed down and stuff. I think when he's healthy, he's one of the best playmakers in the league. I think he's one of the best skaters. I really love his game. I think he's gonna have a huge season. And I think New Jersey's going to do better than a lot of people expect. Like most people probably have them as a playoff team. I think they're a team that could potentially go on a bit of a run in the playoffs. I don't know if they could get past Florida, but could definitely go on a run. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's a good
I
shout. I
like
like
it.
that. It's
I
not
like
one of the top five guys in the league, but he could definitely become one of those top five guys in the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
it. He's also someone that's kind of been compared to in with McKinnon in the ways that they've gotten slow starts to their career, which aren't really slow. They were both superstars, but like underperforming expectations in a way. And I mean, McKinnon has figured it out, and in the next couple of years, Jack Hughes is going to figure it out as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be an exciting year when he does, since he's got all the talent in the world. So moving on to the Norris CG.
I mean, there's really two guys that can win it year in and year out. Um, I loved Werenski, how close he got this year, but I'm gonna pick Quinn Hughes. It's just, I mean, him and McCarr are kind of on another level of most other defensemen in the league right now. So it's gonna be a coin flip between the two and who can stay healthy, things like that. I think the injury that Hughes had definitely um hurt him votes wise. It hurt Vancouver a ton with him being out for an extended period. So he's very important, and I could see him kind of taking it back from Makar.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, him and Makar are definitely the top two defensemen in the league. Um, there's some other options that, maybe in a down year for those guys could sneak in and win it, but I think at the end of the day, it is between Makar and Hughes. So, Nolan, who did you go with?
I think I'm going to agree with CG here. I think I'm going to go with Quinn Hughes. I just think, especially because the injury last year, I think he's going to be motivated, especially going into the Olympic break. You want to have a little bit of momentum going into there. Um, with this U.S. team, they really struggled not having Quinn Hughes last year at the Four Nations, and Vancouver also struggled as well. So I think if you put him in a position where he's gaining momentum into the Olympics and he's the best defenseman in the world, and Vancouver's in a playoff spot at that point, I don't see how you can't put Quinn Hughes right then in there at the top defenseman in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go with Makar here just to be different. We could talk about him a little bit. Um, I think Makar, one advantage he kind of has on Hughes, I think his team is better. Um, there's also less drama going on, like the stuff at the start of the offseason or the end of last year, where Vancouver's GM basically came out and said, "Well, I don't know if Quinn Hughes wants to be here, or maybe he wants to go play with his brother." That'll go one of two ways. That'll either light a fire under Quinn, or it's gonna kind of hurt him, and he's gonna think, "Well, maybe I should try to get out of here a little bit quicker." Makar, I think he's just got a little bit more of a stable environment going for him, and I think that'll help him out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Hopefully it's the good part, not the bad part. So our takes don't age, you know, too bad.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah, I
nice.
mean, kind of to list off some possible runner-ups because I just have the top 10 from last year pulled up. There were only two players, 30 years or older that got top 10 votes last year. Jacob Slavin at 30 and Hedman at 34. And then Josh Morrissey for Winnipeg is 29. Every other player is that got top 10 is super young. So Werenski I touched earlier, 27. Galeen got votes. He was 24. Thomas Harley, 23. Hudson got a couple of votes, although some people say you need to play defense to win the award. Big Sanderson, who I love a lot, got some votes too. He's 22 years old. So again, like Andrew said earlier, if one of these guys is having a down year, there's some youth that is ready to pop off, fill that spot. So just a couple of guys that I like. There's a lot of good young defensemen in the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think a another guy to look at, especially with his new D partner in Vladislav Gavrikov. I like Adam Fox, especially in this new system. I think those two can do wonders together. And another guy I like to look at is Miro Heiskanen. A full year Miro Heiskanen is very dangerous, especially next to Thomas Harley. Um, he can be one of the best defensemen in the league.
yeah, definitely. Those are some good names. Uh, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And obviously injuries can occur too. Both those guys have had some bang ups in the past, so it could definitely affect things as well.
I mean, since we're talking about youth, are we gonna bring up Artem Levshunov or Sam Renzel, or is it too early, you think?
Way too early for the
It,
Norris.
maybe Calder.
I,
We could bring him up with the
yeah,
Calder.
I don't even really like Lev for the Calder yet, just because he's kind of a slow starter when he's adjusting to a new league. I think he'll make those adjustments, but I think Rinzel has the better chance to make an impact this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just wanted to get some clicks for the Hawks fans. That's all I really wanted to do.
For
here
sure.
we could spin it off into this really quick. Do you guys think that Levshinov starts the year in Rockford, or does he make the team at a camp?
I think it'll
Uh,
all depend upon what they end up doing with Wyatt Kaiser because he still doesn't have a contract yet.
Yeah,
So I think, Wyatt Kaiser and Sam Renzel were so good last year. I don't think you should break them up if he signs. And then I think, just the fact of how, you know, developed Levshunov is physically, I don't see why you can't leave him up there. And then you have your three right defensemen in Renzel, uh, Levshunov, and Connor Murphy slash Louis Crevier.
yeah, I think with him it's a coin flip. You can start him in the NHL, it'd be fine. I still think like we haven't even seen a training camp out of him yet because he was hurt last year. So there's a lot like he kind of unexpected in the terms of starting a season. I know I said he tends to start seasons slow, but I think he could start in Rockford, and I'd be happy with that, with them taking their time on him. We don't really need him right now. If they feel like a little extra time in Rockford's good. Some first power play time because he wasn't really great on the power play to end the season. I think we saw Renzel kind of take that job from him in those last couple games. So I don't know. It's a new system, so I don't want to rush him into it.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I almost hope that he starts the year in Rockford just so he gets kind of a little bit of stability because he went from playing Belarus to playing in the NCAA. Hawks signed him right away to the AHL and stuff. So maybe just letting him play like, you know, a second year in the AHL, I think it'd be good for him long term, but we'll see what they do. When Hawks roster's so
Yeah, and I
open
think
right now.
the rest of Rockford will be good enough. I mean, we can have this talk like Hawk specific on what the lineup's going to look like, who should make the team out of camp, who shouldn't before camp even happens. But like I think guys like Ryan Green and Oliver Moore, a lot of people say they can make the team out of camp. I'd almost rather them not and kind of just, hey, we're gonna see what you could do in the AHL for a little bit, and then a couple months into the year, you're gonna get your chance, but you gotta earn that chance. And that's only going to make Rockford better. I want to see Ryan Green, Oliver Moore, Nick Lardis line. I think that line in Rockford could be awesome. I think that really those three different styles of play could fit together very well too. And I mean, at that point, if you're gonna have some of those guys together, why not keep a guy like Levshunov down a little longer, uh, just so that they can kind of gel together.
All right, so we're going to be moving on now to the Vezina Trophy. CJ, it's your turn. Who do you got taking it home this year?
It's so boring. You know how bad I want to say Dustin Wolf, but I'm going to say Connor Hellebuck. Like goalies are super weird. You never really know what to expect from any given season. He's really the only guy that can do it year in and year out in the regular season, of course. Um, so yeah, I don't think like picking him needs much explaining, but he's my pick.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking regular season awards here, not
Oh, cool.
not playoffs, because we all know Hellebuck gets in his own head or something. So I don't know. He must have made some weird deal with the devil as a kid. Like he'll be the best NHL regular season goalie ever, and then in the playoffs, you're gonna shit your pants year after year. But yeah, absolutely fair pick. Uh, Nolan, who did you go with?
I mean, I kind of also want to go Hellebuck, but I'm not going to. I also want to go an American, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to go Igor Shesterkin from the New York Rangers. I think the Mike Sullivan system is really going to benefit him. I think having another defensive defenseman there with Gavrikov is really going to help him. I know I've been talking about Gavrikov a lot, but I really like Vladislav Gavrikov as a defensive defenseman to not only help out Fox, but to also help out the overall defense, which is going to help Shesterkin. And I think the addition of Scott Morrow as well to the New York Rangers is just going to add a lot of defensive depth where it's been severely lacking over the last 12 months.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. He's a great goalie and stuff too. So, uh, Vesna, it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to talk about because goalies are just so random year to year.
Yeah.
It's almost like sluggers in baseball and stuff. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're the worst player on your team. So, uh, I think both those are safe picks. I'm gonna go for Dustin Wolf though. Um,
All
There
right.
you I
just because
like it.
it, not that I don't know if he's actually gonna do it 2 years in a row, but I think it would be fun to see more undersized goalies in the NHL. And if he has a Vezina winning season, I could definitely see it start to happen more and more. NHL is a copycat league, so I'm rooting for Dustin Wolf because Smaller goalies are more fun, in my opinion. They have
Yeah.
to do more. So this is going to be a fun one. We're moving on to the Calder Trophy here. CG, who are you going with?
It's one that I can't really pick. Like I have options. Like I don't want to. I think Ryan Leonard's a good choice, but I don't want to say Ryan Leonard. Homer wise, I think Rinzel has the best chance for the Hawk. I think to get votes. I don't really want to say Demidov either because he's a great player, but I don't know what we could see the full season when he's playing against the teams he hasn't really been there. And AHL season's long, so maybe that's why he wasn't really there in the playoffs for Montreal. But yeah, it's really tough. I think I'm going to end up doing Ryan Leonard just because NCAA guys tend to make that transition better now. Um, we see it with like Nazar. If he had a full season, he could have gotten significant votes. I mean, there isn't really anyone in this draft that I could see making an immediate impact. Like I don't think Misa's going to be superstar stud right out of the way. I think there's still questions with him and even if the NHL is the right place to develop, which makes this year's Calder race super wide open.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Uh, there isn't like a stud rookie. I mean there's studs, but you know what I mean. There isn't like the first overall pick isn't playing in the NHL this year more than likely. So it's kind
Hmm.
of weird in that sense.
Yeah.
Nolan, who did you go with?
So as much as my Hawks bias wants me to take Sam Rinzel, I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier, Second City, about the NHL being a copycat league. Last year's Calder winner was the Hobie Baker winner the year before. I think I'm going to take the NCAA guy, Isaac Howard, the Iceman, to take the Calder Trophy. I think he's a little bit of a long shot, just in the fact that I think he's like sixth or seventh in the betting odds. You've got so many guys that could win it this year. Demidov being the far and away favorite, but I mean it's so boring taking the favorite, right? So I think if Isaac Howard somehow makes his way into the top six of that Edmonton team, he's got so much to prove with everything, going on in Tampa. I think if you put him on a line with either 29 or 97, he will succeed. And you're just going to see that man radiate aura. I mean, the amount, just looking at his draft interview, you know, saying that he was the best looking guy in the draft, I thought that was hilarious. But I think that just, he's got a lot of swagger coming in. And I just think if you put him again on a line with either Draisaitl or McDavid, he will succeed. And you might see, a 60, 70 point season out of the Iceman. So I'm going to take him.
Yeah,
I like it.
that's a great pick. I really wanted Kyle Davidson to go out and try and get him.
That would have been
Uh,
awesome.
uh, I've accepted that the Hawks are just okay with being garbage again this year. Uh, but yeah, I think he's going to be an awesome player for them, and I think, like you said, playing with McDavid or Draisaitl, if he gets to be on a line with them, it's going to do wonders for him, and every team's going to be like, well, why didn't we trade for Isaac? He's such a good player for them. But yeah, great pick. I'm gonna go with, and I was kind of debating this. I'm gonna go with Buium, the defenseman for the Minnesota Wild.
Okay.
Um, Watching him every year at the World Juniors, I was just like, this guy is the best player for Team USA most of the time. I love his like playmaking as a defenseman. I think if you put him on the power play and he's got like Kaprizov and stuff with him, I think he can put up a ton of points like that. Kind of like how what's his name? Lane Hudson did for the Canadians and stuff this year. I think he's an absolute stud and I'm really excited to watch him play.
Yeah, I think definitely, too, with William, he's got a defensive defenseman next to him in Brock Faber. We didn't really see that at the Four Nations, but maybe we see that around 82 if they're paired together.
Yeah, that would be great for him. I think it would do a lot for him and stuff. Both of
Yeah,
them, honestly.
yeah.
And
Well,
so,
I think I kind of think your guys' pick's better just because I think those guys are going to be like compared to Ryan Letter. I think those guys are going to be playing bigger roles for their teams too. I mean, we saw William towards the end of the season get pretty, was it first line power play time for a little bit? They started trying him out there almost as soon as he joined. And I do think Howard will be in that top six just because they don't really have a lot of depth over there in Edmonton. And when Bowman trades for a guy, he's going to get use him as much as he can. So I think being big aspects to their team, playing meaningful minutes can really only help them.
Yeah, I just hope that Isaac Howard doesn't turn into another Alex Nylander.
oh God,
Yeah.
don't say that name.
I'm sorry, I had to. I had to. It was the first thing I thought of when we were talking about Bowman draft picks or Bowman trades. My bad.
Who drafted he was a Buffalo player, right? They drafted
Yeah,
him.
he went from Buffalo to the Hawks in a 1-for-1 with Yoki Haru, and then I think it was like Davidson's first move as GM. He flipped Nylander for Lafferty.
Yeah. Jesus, we were taking Buffalo cast-offs. That's how bad it was for a while. Not even the good ones. Uh,
We couldn't get our Ryan O'Reilly or a Jack Eichel. We had to settle for Alex Nylander. Are you kidding me?
yep. Dark days. Dark, dark, dark days. All right, so the last award we're gonna go over is the Jack Adams, so Coach of the Year. I'm interested to see who we're all gonna go with for this one because it's kind of random. But CG, who did you choose?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier, before recording that it's just going to be overachieving teams. And I really like what Martin St. Louis has done in Montreal. Um, I think he's been a great coach development wise. He was there for the COVID Cup run and he kind of stuck through with that rebuild and the mini rebuild really. And yeah, I think he's done a great job there. I like the style he has in play for the most part. So I'm gonna go with them. That's probably the biggest market that I could see getting votes, just because every time you're gonna see those teams, it's always gonna be the St. Louis Blues, some of those smaller teams that overachieve expectations. And regardless of if that's the coach or just lightning in a bottle for a year, that's how those votes tend to go.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. Nolan, who did you go with?
I think another big market that CG had failed to mention, Mike Sullivan going to the New York Rangers. I think that's going to be a big help for them. They seem pretty lost under Laviolette, and I think Sullivan's going to bring just a little bit of stability there. I like him. I think if somehow, some way, and I really don't want to say this, but if the Blues make the playoffs, I could definitely see Jim Montgomery, because I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. I think Boston really did him dirty, but I think if I had to gun to my head, if I had to pick one, I would pick Mike Sullivan.
Yeah, definitely. If you can turn like Rangers had a absolutely disaster season last year. If he can come in and turn things around right away, I could definitely see him being up for the award.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm gonna go with and I'm gonna butcher his name, and I'm so sorry in case this guy ever actually sees this. I'm gonna go with Andre Turigny. Again, sorry if I butcher that. Um, I'm just picking him because he's Utah's coach. Um, I think Utah makes the playoffs with a young team. it's a new market for the NHL. I could see them wanting to maybe give a coach an award or give somebody on that team an award for something. Um, yeah, that's basically my logic. Good young team should probably make the playoffs, but it's not guaranteed yet. So
Yeah, it sounds like a Batman thing to do.
yeah. Hey, I mean, your guy too, Sullivan. Bettman's favorite team is the Rangers, apparently. So
I mean, yeah, that would work. One name I forgot to mention. You were talking earlier about Dustin Wolf winning the Calder, then why not give Ryan Huska the Calder or the Jack Adams? If Calgary somehow makes the playoffs, I think that Huska could definitely be, we're talking about smaller markets. Calgary's a very small market. They want to bring the award back to a good old Canadian team. The Flames make the playoffs, I could definitely see him being a finalist.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jack Adams, we were talking about it a little bit off camera. Like, it's basically whichever coach has the most garbage roster that he can get into the playoffs. That's usually who wins the award,
Yeah.
especially if they win like a playoff round as well. So, I could definitely see it. You know,
Yeah, like Washington on paper last year wasn't supposed to be a President's Trophy winning team.
yeah, definitely.
No,
Yet that was all
Anthony
Carberry.
Beauvillier playing top line minutes.
Yeah, unreal, unreal.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Um, you guys want to say where the people who watch this video can find you, your social media and stuff? I'll link it all below as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm just go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, so yeah, you can find me on CHR at Chicago Hockey Radio on Instagram, at Chicago Hockey Radio on Twitter. Actually, just released merch, so please pay the interns. That would be awesome. We need to eat. We need to fund our Hawks tickets, so wouldn't mind you guys checking that out. And on Instagram at Nolanfilmss, two S's. That's the personal page I run. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm just tweeting here and there at Connor Gavin. I mean, like Second City said, that'll be in the description. Not really doing much tweeting right now as it's the dog days of the summer, but we'll be back once hockey season comes. We got what, 49 days now? We're counting down the days until I can get back into United Center, have a nice beer in one hand and screaming at Jim Cornelison.
Yeah.
Love it.
Watch
Love
some
it.
terrible Blackhawks preseason hockey. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what,
And
guys? We've only got what, 2 weeks of this recording? I think it's less than it's like 2.5 weeks until KHL and SHL come out. So I'm ready
there
to
we go.
roll, watching Frondell, watching Cancer off. So
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll be
sir.
waiting for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it once again. Go check out Nolan stuff. Go check out CG's Twitter. Uh, have a good day as always, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.